Hi, hello, and good evening. It is September 18th. It is 11:04 p.m. on the east side. We thank you for your patience as we hung out with the incomparable, the legendary Owen Knight of Survivor 43 as we recapped this most recent episode of the Challenge USA 2. But we are here tonight to discuss Big Brother 25. As we had disclosed on Thursday's episode of Strat Chat, we had told you that Jared had won that iconic wall comp, much to our chagrin. So we're discussing the results of last night's episode, including the huge fight where Jared was caught in this lie and didn't know how to get out of it. That was very, very fun. And we'll also be getting into who won veto and how the veto meeting went. Don't worry, casuals, we will let you know before we dive into all of that. But first, here's our theme. Okay. I am Kyle Petty, and I am joined, as always, by my festy besties, John Dunphy and Gina Morgino. And this is Strat Chat, your favorite reality TV podcast. You can find us on the socials at Strat Chat Pod. What you do not see in that logo is the fact that we are on the blue sky. All right, so give us a follow over there. I'm chatting the most over there. No one else gives two figs about anybody's blue sky, but I'm over there and I'm having some really fun conversations. I'm making a lot of new friends that have not crossed over to the pod. So, y'all on blue sky, you're welcome to this conversation, and those who are in this one, you're welcome to that one. I'm really proud of myself. I'm crushing it. So anyway. So Jared won HOH. Woo! A win for Team Dunphy. Let's hear it for John.
Woo! He seems
Whatever.
unenthused.
Here's the thing. I didn't think I didn't think that Cirie would win. So I am happy that Jared won to protect Cirie. Okay. I literally don't care that Jared won to help his own game.
He's all you got.
Right, but I am very endeared. Every time he's like, I had to win this for me and my mom. I got to protect my mom, right? You're like, okay, all right. I can get behind you just a shade.
Yeah, I can get behind him when he says things like that, but then I also can't get behind how he seems to constantly be hurting Cirie's game with all the dumb stuff that he says and does throughout the house on a daily basis. Like, there's been no one else that has hurt Cirie's game more than Jared himself.
Right. If Cirie is not there to chaperone the conversation, it all goes to hell. And that is exactly how this episode started, right? Because Jared had started a lie. Now, help me remember. It was basically about Jag, right? And how Jag had said that he said, what now?
So Jared told Matt that Jag had told him that the flip was going to happen because there were suspicions that there might be a flip. So Jared just stated as a fact, yeah, Jag told me there was a flip. In the, like, hoping that someone would either confirm or deny, which ended up happening because Matt was like, wait, you know about the flip? And it's like, well, now I do. You know?
Right.
I feel like people always lie in Big Brother. Like, it's just part of the game. But, like,
sure it is.
No one is as bad at it as Jared. Like this is clearly, like, this is even if you get the information that you want, this is not going to end well for you. Like, somebody's going to go to Jag. They obviously trust Jag more than you. So, like, because Jag's included in this flip to get Izzy out and you're not. So, like, at some point, you have to know that a larger conversation with a bigger group is going to be called in, and you're going to get called out for this. Like, it's just so stupid.
I think in a different house, and had he not actually name dropped somebody, this could have been a very smart way to play it. Like, it was a good move. He executed it terribly. And like, maybe don't specifically say Jag, just be like, hey, someone told me that there's a flip happening, like blah, 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 blah. Then, like, you know, watch them implode in and of themselves, try to figure out, well, who's the rat when none of them are the rat. You know, like, there is a way to have played it that it could have been a little bit more successful and not ended in this house meeting that completely blew up Jared's game in his face.
So tell us more about exactly the moment where you think this went wrong. Because not to sound like my therapist's mom, but what I heard you say was that there was a little bit of this in a different house where this could have actually worked. So where do you think this went wrong for Jared?
Well, I mean, I do think that this grouping of people does tend to be a little bit more chaotic than the average house of Big Brother. Like, and I do think
challenge a lot of things. They challenge things.
Well, it's not even just that. It's like there's, we love our Waffle Wednesdays on the season of Big Brother. Like, there's constant talk about like the tiniest little thing is going to set somebody off to want to completely change over the trajectory of the vote. So like this house is just very like on the pulse of like, as things happen, like things can change on a dime. They don't really like have a plan and stick to it. They just kind of like go with it as it goes. So I think that this is just a hard group of people to kind of get that information from without expecting it to blow up. But I also do think that like, I think Jared was a little bit, like I said, too specific with his lie. If he was maybe a little bit more vague about where this information's coming from, then you could just have that side of the house now not trusting each other because they don't know where the leak came from. They don't know where this information is coming from. They don't know who told who then told Jared. You know, like by saying Jag specifically told me this, that is a very easily proven lie.
Yeah, I feel like it would have been so much better. Like you're saying, Gina, go in, just plant a seed that like, I'm not going to tell you who shared this information with me, but I'm hearing that a flip is happening. And then even if you don't immediately get that information that you were hoping to get, that side of the house that's orchestrating this flip is now going to start imploding.
There's
by
cracks,
wondering,
yeah,
because Jared was correct in the fact. I mean, really, it was Sari that was correct. She picked up on this immediately, just watching the TV in the HOH room. She was like, something sketchy. Went to Jared, told him, see if you can get any information, and like, but don't specifically name somebody. Just say, I'm hearing whispers that there's a flip happening. Then that side of the house will be like, who's the leak? And then someone starts getting accused, and then now they start to doubt the move. Do we still go through with this flip, or do we just vote Felicia out? Whatever. Like, but the way he did it, it was so easily refuted. Like,
it was. I still think he had a little bit more time left before this totally went kaflooey. Like, you could have done some immediate damage control here and just been completely honest, right? Be like, honestly, Jag didn't say that. I knew he didn't say that. I just wanted to see what you would do if I said he said it. Like, you could have
he spent such a long time being like, no, this happened. Even when they wanted to bring Jag into the conversation, he was like, go get him. And then was shocked when somebody was like, Jag, did you say this? And he was like, no. And then Jared's like, oh shit. What did you think was going to happen when they called him in? And
Jag was just going to agree that he said it? Like, what was that? Like, before
what did you
expect?
Happened,
even when Jag got in the room, be like, okay, you brought Jag in here. All right. You called my bluff. I'm done. I'm going to take an L on this one. I did this
then all you have to say,
see if you would tell me
all you have
things.
to say is I just had a suspicion, and I thought, like, if I just name dropped someone, I would see if it was true or not. Like, it's so
and you
easy
honestly
to pivot.
yes, and you totally could have even blown up in that moment, right? You could have just been like, oh, well, and see exactly what I thought would happen. Like, what now?
Yeah, this was a test, and you failed.
Right, you failed, and then just storm out. And then everybody was like, damn.
Yeah, we got right.
Yeah, exactly. But no.
It's funny too, because Jared already has a spotty track record, specifically with Matt and Jag also, because he went to Matt about this thing, accusing Jag, right, that he was the one that said this flip is happening. And prior in the season, we saw Jared be involved with Matt and Jag and his whole power of invincibility and how he was going to use it on Jag. And nobody knew this except for Matt, Jag, and Cirie. And here comes Jared. It's like, so Matt and Jag are like already have your number. And especially now, it just confirms that like everything you're doing is sketchy. Like,
it's just an absolute mess. It's an absolute mess.
I did get such a good laugh out of Cirie in that one DR being like, Jared, I told you to get information, not start a freaking war. What is the matter with you?
Yeah. And even once she entered the conversation, it was already still too late. And not
like,
that I like Cameron, but
we saw
the moment
on
with him
feeds
in the living room was actually funny.
Well, I hate that it was funny.
I hate that it was funny.
I don't like being endeared towards him because I don't like him. I don't like when he does silly things. I don't like when he makes good game moves. I don't like it.
I know. We don't want to root for him, but he did have a moment here. It's like, listen, seeing all these people going up and down stairs, just watching the chaos, Cam's chaos week. And it's like, you're right. This is your fault, sir.
What was also so fun on feeds to watch in the longer version of this fight was there were a couple of moments of like, once everybody was kind of like in the have-not room.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, it was like Corey would be giving the rundown of like, and this is what happened, and this is why people are upset, and these are, you know, all of and these are all of like the, you know, reasons why this fight is happening. And Cirie would like chime in only to exonerate herself. Like she would come in and be like, but when did I say that? But when did I do that though? And like she wouldn't ride for anybody else, but like
so
he would say like 5 minutes worth of stuff, and she'd be like, but when did I say that? And he'd be like, oh, you didn't. And she'd be like, okay, carry on.
That is so funny to highlight, because like she went down there to like, I gotta go protect my baby. And then she's like, you know what? That ship is sinking.
Because it's like she was like,
I will save myself. Where's my vest? Where's my vest?
She was like, I will clear my name and say absolutely nothing else.
So good. So good.
Yeah, I would have loved to known. I would love to have known like exactly what was going through her mind as she was sitting in this room, because we did get a cutaway too of one of her DRs being like, Jared, I just wanted you to try to go get some information, not cause all this.
Right. Oh gosh. I'd love to talk to Cirie after this. I mean, I would love to talk to Cirie regardless, but like, especially after this. My God, I'd love to know like what she thought in certain moments, and I want to know what she thought watching it back. You know, because there's no way it's not different.
Yeah.
Good, so good. So who does Jared put up?
Unfortunately, Team Morgino has landed on the block for the first time this season. In a very not shocking.
I just wanted to force Gina to say it.
I know.
Gina is finally on the block.
I was just saying off stream, in a normal season where we have a jury of 9, I did not touch the block pre-jury. And then Julie had to yank the rug out from under me, give us a 7-person jury, and here we are.
As some would say, tough noogies. Team Morgino is on the block. Corey and America. Bang,
Matt Blevin says, Gina, you shouldn't have gloated on Twitter earlier this week. And you know what? He's absolutely right, because I sure was. Like, because I think it was John had posted something about his team being like, damn, have you ever seen a worse team? And I quote tweeted it with a picture of my team and said, for no particular reason, I just feel the need to say that I haven't been on the block yet. It just feels like a thing I should talk about. And here we are.
You know, I love alliteration, and I just realized that we are not getting the proper mileage at a decimated Dunphy.
That's because we were so hung up on Dunphy dicks last week.
Well, you brought it back up. That is the third one, right? In order for it to properly alliterate, there should be a third. So it's a decimated Dunphy dicks.
Oh my God.
You did it. It was born here. Happy Monwan Monday.
Monwan Monday.
Hi, y'all.
Wow, not me making Gina a Monwan Monday stand.
That's fantastic. I
That's
approve
right.
this.
That's right.
Wow.
It's a Strat Chat multiverse.
Stretch and multiverse. I love Liz's comment here. I like this better. Decimated Dunphy duds.
Ah, come on. All right. I guess dicks after midnight. Duds. If the sun's still up.
Wow.
Because we are not dropping dicks. Okay. Like literally never. Literally never. So stop. This is getting real cracked real fast.
Oh my god.
Okay. So there's that. Oh, Matt says that Owen should have heard the Mon One Monday. Yes, he should have. Yes, he should have. That's all right, because he's gonna be back. He's
right.
gonna be back.
And then we can get him to Lidl too. So
Oh my god.
You're damn right we're gonna get him Lidl. You're damn right.
yeah.
But first, is there anything else for this episode? The Sunday episode.
We didn't talk about the wall comp at all.
What is there to talk about? It was complete crap. It was over before Buddy Games was. I mean,
what is so unfortunate is that, like, given the structure of the house, this was a really, really good time to have a wall competition. But given the events of the house, it was a really, really bad time, because during Cameron's HOH week, every other person in the house was on slop all week. And now
Right.
you put them in this very, very physical endurance competition.
fair.
Where
These are
it was-
weak people, the tired.
It was
exhausted.
over before we even started the podcast, like by 20 minutes.
I was very disappointed to know that a winner was decided after this. Like, part of what I think is fun about when we go live is that when there is an endurance comp, you get rid of the people who are either throwing it, never had a shot to win. You're always down to like the last few that are actually exciting. And I was really looking forward to recapping the week and still having at least like
Yeah.
3 to 5 people left.
Yeah.
I
'Cause for a
couldn't
normal
believe it
wall
was
comp, we
already
would've.
over. Right. I couldn't believe it was already over. I was very disappointed.
It was so fast.
Yeah, did not live up to the, iconic wall comp.
But again, I
Status,
think
quality, anything, just
I think it was
class.
just poor planning, because none of them had any strength to do it, because they had been on slop all week. Like
Pathetic.
they
Yeah,
planned it horribly.
it's very fair.
Yeah.
Though I will double down. I thought it was very, very funny because the theme was Josh, and I had a great time. Sorry about it.
I was
Every-
smiling so warmly, so genuinely.
I know you were, and your
giving
face
you
felt
the
real fast.
encouragement and the love, and then you made.
So
I never lost the light so fast.
What was so fun, I was watching this episode with James, who obviously is very new to the world of Big Brother. And like
welcome.
he's sitting there next to me and he's like, why are there meatballs? Why is there circus music? I don't understand what I'm looking at. And I'm like, James, you don't understand.
what I'm
Like,
looking
you
at.
don't understand. On the commercial
one
break,
does.
literally on the commercial break, I pulled up the pots and pans video. I was like, watch this. I was like, you don't understand.
Oh my god.
I did
Oh
see
my
that you got a
God.
repost from Josh.
I
just
did.
last
We're
night.
besties.
Yes, yes.
Because it's
Oh
true.
my goodness
Literally,
gracious.
anytime that somebody even reminds me for a moment of the pots and pans, it freaking sends me into orbit. I think it was the funniest freaking thing. I think Josh is hysterical. I'm sorry. Or you know what? No, I'm not. I'm not sorry.
That's right. Unapologetically us on a
Yeah.
Mon One Monday.
That's right.
I didn't get a second. Yeah. That's right. I'm a Josh fan in the sense that, like, I find him entertaining and he's hot. You know, but
Whoa.
no whoa. That's how he ended up on my Twitter feed in the beginning.
I have never heard you say that before.
What are you talking about? That's the whole reason why I tweet about him. Like, what are you talking about?
I didn't know. I thought that was
Josh
new
is
as of
very
the
hot.
challenge. Like this season.
No, Josh always could have gotten it. He
This
could get
season
an
of USA
extra.
was the first time I ever heard you say
He
it.
could get extra now. He can get extra, but like,
Okay.
yeah, no. Even sober Kyle would have I would have happily bent over. But
Are you kidding me?
so stupid. But I don't know. That deliberation, I can't get past it. That was really irritating. Like, I'm sorry. Like
I
that
couldn't
was
agree less.
Come on. Oh
Sorry.
no, it's fine. So any Hoosers, I think that's it for this episode. I would love to move into spoilers. Unless anyone
Yeah.
else has anything for Sunday's
I
episode
mean,
that was much
the-
delayed thanks to
Forward.
football
yeah,
overrun.
yeah. The only other thing that I because when I was watching in the live on the live feeds the end of the wall competition, I saw a lot of people complaining that Jared's position all the way at the end, he wasn't getting hit with as many things, and like, do you buy into any of that at all? He was all the way at the end.
People
so,
were
like,
calling shenanigans big time on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
because like there was like like they were all getting rinsed off at some point because it was like raining, but like people were complaining that like he wasn't getting hit with these sauces as much, so like it didn't affect his grip as much and stuff like that. But I don't know, it looked like he was getting close to going down anyway, so but maybe it was that little bit from the placement that helped him to.
What bothers me more than any of that was like, if you were watching on the feeds, you saw he looked like he was going to go down soon, and people weren't really sure if we saw this correctly. And then in the edit, it's like, no, we absolutely did see it correctly. Bowie jumped. She did not lose that competition. She looked over to see who was still over there and then jumped down. If she had held on like maybe 30 seconds longer, Jared was about to go down. He was having a really tough time.
This is what I was saying on Thursday, and I saw Liz put up a poll about this on Twitter. Our buddy Liz put up a poll asking people if they thought that it was thrown, if Bowie threw it. I said yes.
After this episode, I 1000% think so.
Well, that's certainly interesting, and that's certainly something that we are not really privy to, right? Unfortunately, I don't really. I never heard of a Bowie, Jared, anything. I want to know more about Bowie's game, and what are the conversations that transpired that made her feel comfortable enough to look over and say, "Oh, okay, I'm good. Let me get out of here."
I don't necessarily think that it was so much like anything that her working with Jared. I think, and again, this is all speculation because we literally never hear what is in her head, but I would think more she doesn't want to have to show her cards because she is right in the middle and no one really knows where she is. And seeing that Jared was still up there and knowing that this big fight just happened, I would assume that she would think, okay, there are bigger targets than me. It's safe for me to duck out at this point because they're not going to come for me. You know what I mean?
Why get any blood on my hands now?
Yeah, I guess so. I feel like, though, if you would have made it to that point, because like, I don't know, you made it so long. It's like, you know what? If I feel like I have another 5 or 10 minutes, like let me do it.
It's
like,
so
not like
hard
I'm
when
really
we get
hurting.
We get literally no DRs from her. I have no clue what her pulse on the house is.
It's funny too, so Matt Blevins commented this before, and I saw it, but I'm going back to it now because it's Bowie Jane still being a fucking question mark in this game. So during that whole meeting, the blow up between Jared and Corey, she actually, like, at one point she was asked to come in and be a part of the meeting, and at one point she like got up and said, "Should I leave?" And they said, "No, you can stay." And then she barely like spoke, or at least from what we saw. I'm sure there's stuff that she said that we didn't see, but it was just funny because it's like, and that she got the least like dialogue in that from what we saw. I don't know if there's any other clips out there on like Twitter and stuff that where she's talking more, but in the edit we saw barely anything from her. And then I loved how at the very end
too, though.
Yeah,
but even
then I loved how at the very end, of that argument, she like makes this joke with all the 6 people. So final 6, like she like just jokes about it.
That
it's
was
like
very funny.
Yeah,
but it's also like there was a moment in the edit, I'm pretty sure, where like Jared kind of made a comment that made it seem like Bowie was only there to be a witness. Like, I don't remember what was said in that moment, but he was like, well, that's why I brought her in there, so we can all say this like out in the open. And it's like, okay, well, did you literally sit Bowie Jane down just to watch you have this fight with somebody else? So like you have somebody there to see it? Like you made her sit through this whole thing and not actually include her in any plans and any conversation. Like, what is that?
Right, but I also think that it's noteworthy that no one seems to mind that Bowie Jane knows everybody's business. Like everyone seems to have some level of trust with her, and I think that that's kind of interesting too, and that certainly speaks to whatever Bowie Jane is doing in this game that we're not seeing.
Which is also interesting because the only person that we have seen that she may or may not be aligned with is Cameron. So it's even more surprising that side of the house is like, yeah,
Right. And
be
it's
in all
like,
of these conversations. She could, in theory, feed him so much information.
right. And why is no one, and she is the only person that voted with him
Right.
on the red thing. So it's like,
Yeah.
why does everyone trust her so much? What about Bowie Jane's game are we not seeing?
But again, like in defense of that, she doesn't do anything with that information unless she is and we don't know about it. But like
Right.
I don't know. That's
I don't
hard
know that
when
we
there's live
do.
feeds, but I don't know.
Right. That there's clearly things going on that we don't know about because like we don't know how we got here.
It's
So
hard to
like,
discern when there are live feeds and we literally can see her not doing stuff, but like I don't know, if there's like 2 cams on this showmance and 2 cams on that showmance, where's Bowie?
right, right. It's very interesting. That's why I would really love a Bowie HOH, but not during the double.
Rooting for it so freaking hard. I
Yeah.
wanted her to win the wall so
Yeah.
bad.
I don't want to see her win HOH during the double though. I want to see
No.
her when we get a full week because I
Yeah.
really want to know her thoughts every single step of the way.
Mhm.
But I guess that's an interesting place to now still go. If we're done with the Bowie thing, I would love to know what you think about Jared's chances now going into the double. And obviously, we'll have 2 different opinions based on when we have this conversation, right? Because we're not getting into spoilers. So this based on Sunday's episode for our casual friends. With Corey and America on the block. Jared is the outgoing HOH, no power during the double, no power unless he plays Veto. What do we think? What does that look like for Jared? Who's after him?
I mean, I don't know if I believe this because I originally was gonna say I feel like unless it's Suri, he's kind of on the outs, but I don't know if I believe that.
So who do you think has him on the ends?
No, I'm saying I think unless Suri wins HOH, anybody else is gonna put him up, but I don't know if I fully believe that or not.
Right.
I can't
So
decide.
who do you think is on? Who do you think is on side? Blue. Who else? Who
I
else
don't know about
wouldn't
Blue.
put Jared up?
You think Blue would put Jared up?
She's made I mean, I don't want to get into too many spoilery things, but I feel like we have heard her say that like even in past weeks, like if I win HOH, it's going to be Jared and Suri.
I mean, I've heard her mentioning Suri. I've seen that on Twitter and stuff, but I don't know.
Well, I mean, she also, and I don't remember if it made the edit or not. After that wall competition and Jared won the HOH, she was going on a freaking tear through the house. She was crying. She was bitching to everybody about how mad she was that Jared won the HOH. I can't wait until he's out of here next week. I want to be the one to do it myself.
I didn't know any of this.
No, this was like maybe 15 minutes after the wall competition was won. She was going off to anyone who would listen, being like, I want to be the one to win HOH and get him out of here myself. Like she was
Is she just saying that to try and separate herself from the perceived showmance?
So, I mean, there was speculation on that, but like as the conversation went and as the night went on and the next day, it really did seem like she meant it. Because I'm pretty sure there was a conversation between her and Jared in the HOH where she was like, I'm pissed that you won that and you wouldn't let me win it. Like there was like a lot of like butting heads between the two of them. Where like she literally for like for like half an hour was like going off on a tear about how mad she was that Jared won and how she wants to get him out next week.
Maybe she found out that Jared still has a girlfriend that he still professes his love to.
I mean, I'm pretty sure she knew that already. But
what if she didn't though?
I mean, they had talked about it though.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
I rejected them as anything real, so I have followed nothing.
Because they both had someone on the outside of the house, from my understanding.
Oh, Blue did too?
Yeah, but Jared's, from what I gather, was more serious.
Oh. Yikes.
Yeah, I don't know. Hopefully we'll find out.
I suppose we will. All in good time. Well, I'm ready to talk about the veto. So, anything else for Sunday's episode?
There is a question in here that, like, I don't want to answer until we get into the more spoilery stuff. So
Matt's question here.
yeah.
Yeah, that'll be more fun in a moment. So for our casual friends, it's time for you to log out. You can find us on the socials at Strat Chat Pod, including Blue Sky. Blue Sky. Because I know nobody gives two craps. But yeah, we're moving into spoilers. So we'll be discussing who won veto and how today's veto meeting went. So if you don't care, get out of here. You can catch all that information on Wednesday. And we'll be here recapping on Thursday at 10:15 p.m. Eastern. Okay, officially moving into the spoilers. So veto winner, we don't know how. Probably not sponsored, right?
It was Otev.
It was Otev. Okay, better than sponsored. The return of Otev. Welcome back. Welcome back. The winner of Otev, our legendary, iconic Big Brother competition, Jag. I love hearing that. I love hearing that. Another win for Team Patty, a milestone win.
What's
Thank you.
also really fun about that is from what I heard people saying, like on feeds and in like relation to the feeds, Cameron came in second by literal seconds.
Really?
Yeah. So this was almost a Cameron win and wasn't.
Wow.
Which makes this a lot more fun.
That makes it very, 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 very more fun. Which also would have been a win for Team Patty. Not that I'm proud to have Cameron. We didn't know him when we picked these things, so don't cancel me. But congratulations, Jag, for winning the veto. He wins when it matters.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
when his back is up against the wall, he says, absolutely not. We're out of here. And then out of here.
We're out of here.
We're out of here. Stop it. Stop playing games with me. All right. You tried it before. I won. You try it again. Power of invincibility. You try it again. Win. Stop playing games. I'm a winner. I'm taking all the W's when it matters. So he removes himself. No, he doesn't remove himself. He's not on the block.
Removes himself.
He removes himself. Who did he take down? Because we know that it was you.
That I'm not sure about. I don't know.
That's where we need.
It might have been Corey. I think it might have been
hope it was
Corey.
Corey.
Yeah, we know that Cameron ends up back up there.
Mhm.
That's
I
all
don't
we
know who
know.
he's sitting next to.
Yeah. It doesn't really matter, does it, though? That's what's interesting.
I mean,
Because,
hopefully everyone sticks to their guns and we don't have a massive flip in
another
a couple of
Waffle
days.
Wednesday. I guess it depends on
Final-
who's there.
Final noms are America and Cameron.
Sweet. Okay.
Yeah, I think Cam's out then. I don't think anybody would vote out America against him.
I mean, it's
Do you-
really hard because a lot of people have had
Yeah.
America's name in their mouths, but Cameron is the piece of it that makes me hopeful that she'll stick around.
Right, because he's still the bigger threat. Like, America, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, she hasn't won a single thing.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, just on that.
The problem with America is her reads on the house are really, really, really solid. And we saw that in this Sunday episode that, like, she has a really, really good understanding of the structure of the house and who's aligned with who and what's going on where. She's really, really smart. It's her execution that is a problem because while this whole flip really was kind of spearheaded by America having all this information, if it weren't for Corey being the one to lead the charge and going about it the way he went about it, she gets messy. She doesn't know how to execute on the information that she has.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just don't think it's now, though. I agree with all that. She still doesn't win, though. And that's exactly
I agree that Cameron is the more dangerous one and
Right,
you should be wanting to get
right.
him out. But people have been name dropping America for weeks.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like all that is true. and she's also very, very good at planting seeds, right? She can really start a wildfire, but she needs
Yeah.
somebody like Corey
Right.
to kind of keep that going. So if you just get somebody like Corey out, who does America have to really like
Right.
actually make sure these seeds are watered so that they come to full
And see, that's like
germination?
I think if you felt really good about that.
I was so excited.
I think if push comes to shove, if Corey loses America, his game drastically improves because he now doesn't have the showmans and the duos piece to kind of put a target on his back, and he also has other people that he's kind of like aligned himself with. I think if America loses Corey, she's in a lot of trouble.
Right. She's in a lot of trouble. And as I was saying all that, it's also like, then why bother even keeping her in here? Just get rid of her. Then a fire spreader like Corey doesn't have a fire to spread, right? There's no flame because America's gone.
Right, because that whole flip wouldn't have happened. Like, as much as Corey led the charge, he wouldn't have led that charge if it wasn't America to be the one to like.
Right, to plant the seed.
This is what I'm thinking. What do you think about this? And that's when Corey really decided, oh wait, we need to do something about this.
Yep.
But
or is it something that maybe Corey is already thinking, and that because she said it too on her own volition, that now he had the confidence to kind of move forward?
I mean, I hadn't.
Are they two very like minds that just don't communicate as much as they should?
It's possible. I hadn't heard him saying stuff like that prior to her bringing it up, but it doesn't mean he wasn't thinking it.
Right.
I thought I had seen him in a DR. Maybe not that he was like, not that he hadn't thought of it at all, but like after the conversation with America, it made him realize like that the action needed to be taken like now. Like, it really propelled him forward. Like it definitely made him rethink some of like how he was feeling in the house with certain people. Because I know that's when all the fake alliances started being called out to, right? Like the for real and the 7 deadly sins. Like, I don't think that there was that much. I don't think he necessarily felt like he was in, a fake alliance to that extent until like he started having this whole blow up with Jared, which really came about after his conversation with America and all that. So,
God, it's interesting. Oh, it's so fun. God,
it's just funny. It's wild that we're here because it's like I've wanted Cameron out for the longest time, and I still do. But like, I do wonder, like, is it the best move for Jared and Suri by extension? At this point, like, I feel like at this point,
who
like,
becomes
Corey
the new
and
target?
America have declared war.
But like, I mean, to be fair though, Cameron is very much targeting Suri.
He is, but I feel like he's pretty alone right now, and I feel like maybe Suri becomes the target that you put on the back burner for a couple of weeks because now Suri and Jared are so desperate because so much of the house seems to be against them that it's like, could we create a little 4-person thing with like Suri, Jared, Bowie, and Cameron, and like try to pay. And like, again, I want Cameron to go home this week. I'm glad he was a replacement nominee. I want him to be voted out. But I'm just trying to think of after the events that transpired in the whole blow up that Corey and Jared had, but also that Matt and Jag were a part of. Like, that's a lot of numbers to be coming after Jared and Suri now. And it's like, maybe Cameron is someone we can convince to be like, but maybe not.
Yeah. No.
I don't know. That made my stomach turn. So, all right, that's a very interesting scenario. A Suri, Jared, Cameron, and who's the fourth? Felicia?
Bowie.
Maybe like a
Bowie. My goodness
maybe
gracious.
Felicia? I don't know if.
Okay.
I don't think Felicia.
No, I don't think. Maybe not Felicia. I'm sorry. That is not. I should not have even said her name. I was very incorrect. I'm more excited about the next part of this. What does that look like then for Matt? If that were the situation, where does Matt's trust go? Like, there's a lot of like split off things to make a decision like that. If you're gonna double down on a Final Four like that, because you would have to make it a final four if you're doing 4 of these. I mean, you can't. That's not something that you can just do for a couple of weeks. One of those fake things like Legend 25. Like if you're doing a 4 like that, you're doubling down. This is how your end game looks, right? Like that's pretty definitive. Making a switch like that, and I think that with that comes like major changes, because like that's definitely cutting off a Matt. Whatever little bit of I don't know, friendship, acquaintanceship, good rapport maybe you had with Jag, I think that's gone. Because I don't want to say that's friendship, because that's not as close, right? Jag is kind of on the outside, but it's safe-ish.
If I'm Jag, I've already totally cut myself off from Jared after this. Like, this whole fight was because you brought my name up to Matt, and I think that Matt would be turned off by that too. And that's what's weird about it, because Matt and Suri trust each other.
Suri anymore?
Yeah, I don't know.
Right. What is Suri's influence in this? Because even if you don't want to work with Jared, if you're saying that I come with Jared, I think that conversation is a little bit different.
I mean, I honestly think that's the only reason why Jared stayed in so far.
Right. Oof. I also don't think Jared would still be here if not for Suri, even at this point. No, because anytime he's had power, it's not because he won. It's only because someone else
lost. Yeah.
Right.
And like, yes, he lasted, the longest in this wall comp, so he did win this one rather than having it thrown to him. But like, there's questions about Bowie Jane. Did she throw it? Did she not? Like, who knows? And I don't know. And then like the fact that it's the shortest, endurance cup, like any other year, Jared would have lost. Like,
right.
I'm just looking for any way to not knock Jared's win.
And so if we're circling back to Jared, I do want to also bring back this comment that I skipped over earlier.
Right. Would Felicia put Jared up?
So at this point, I do actually think so, because and a lot of it has to do with that big fight, because what we saw in the edit was, I believe it was Matt at one point was speaking to Felicia and said, "Don't worry, like, we got you," like kind of like tipped her off, like, "We got you, we got the numbers, like, you're gonna be okay." And she was very relieved to hear that like she has the numbers to stay and everything's gonna be fine. And then Jared and Felicia had a conversation where she was like, "Oh, Matt just told me that I have the numbers. Like, I think I'm going to be able to, like, we can finally do this. Like, I'm going to be okay." And he was like, "Oh, okay. Like, yeah, let me go in and let me go like have a meeting and let me talk to Matt." So Felicia, who was not in the house meeting, was under the impression that they were talking about getting the numbers to keep Felicia. She found out after the house meeting, after the blow up, after the HOH, that the reason why Jared was so angry and carrying on and making this whole big to-do out of the house meeting was because he was upset that they were all getting the numbers together to make Felicia stay. So now she's like, well, wait a second. I'm supposed to be aligned with Jared. The reason why he got into this big argument is because he was mad that I was going to stay. It wasn't because he was trying to get the numbers. He was upset that I had the numbers. And now she is over it. She has like, I don't remember who it was that she was talking to on feeds, but she said to somebody that if she wins HOH, it's Jared and Suri going up. She was like, "I don't give a shit anymore. I don't care." Like, she's pissed.
So Miss Felicia has had it.
She's over it. Yeah.
It's so funny that like she was just the one being like, "I'm gonna go to Jared and ask if he wants to have a final too." Like, that wasn't that long ago, and now this is happening. And it's
and we're gonna go kiki in the kayak together.
Right?
What happened?
I do remember like thinking it was weird, because we saw a moment of Jared and Felicia interacting, and Felicia telling him like, "Oh yeah, they're telling me I have the votes to stay." And I even felt like Jared's reaction to her saying that, like Jared being like, wait, what? You have the votes? You have the votes? And then like storming off. And I was like, that's a weird way to leave. That type. Like, if you just walked away from me,
But
after
even
that
in that
conversation, I'd been
moment,
like, why are you not happy that I have the votes?
she didn't
Right,
clock
why
that in.
upset?
She didn't clock that in the moment, though. It wasn't until people were doing a retelling of the House meeting after that she went, "Oh, wait a minute. I thought the opposite thing was happening."
Oh, maybe she thought that he was excited.
You're like, "Oh, you
you
have the votes? Yeah, yeah."
I'm gonna go. I'm
She
gonna go
didn't
tell
clock it
Sari.
from that. Yeah.
Wow,
Man. Jared.
that's your winner pick.
Oh, just leave me alone.
Team Dunphy, the
Listen,
last one standing.
The sole survivor.
Yep.
We all were gonna pick him. If I
But
did,
we
But you're the
didn't.
one who did.
So, wow.
Listen.
I'm not going first in the next draft, by the way. I've already decided.
But my winner pick was spared this week, so
It's so interesting to me how this flipped, right? Because like Gina and I were like mad salty about not getting to pick Jared.
we were so mad.
So mad. So mad.
It wasn't even just that. I was upset every time John picked somebody because I was like, damn it, that's who I was going to take. It happened with Riley. It happened with Kirsten. I was like, shit, that's who I wanted.
It's so funny. And his team is one that had the most troubles. Yet everyone that he picked is somebody had somebody that somebody wanted. Like, yeah. Fuck, man. That's so funny to me.
Matt
That's so
Blevins is
And now,
killing
like-
me in the comments right now. I'm sorry. He goes, John, it's okay. Never forget Ellie was my female winner pick for Survivor 43. And then he goes, Zach was also my male winner pick for 42.
Yeah. You know, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Some people just don't do
Which-
well.
Zach freaking
would
killed
also-
me on Twitter earlier
well,
today.
Kiera validated John though. Before we
Yeah, I
knew
know, I
Jared,
know.
that was a good pick.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
And that's
Must be
what's so funny
apple of
about this.
everyone's
Yeah.
eye.
That's what's so funny about this is that we were all high on Jared,
So
before
high.
we got introduced to.
I was like, a field?
Well, why
what he's
wouldn't
gonna
we
be.
be?
Definitely
Right.
putting
Why
eggs
wouldn't
in
we
that
have
basket.
been?
Exactly.
But-
exactly.
But what's funny about it now is that he's not only my last remaining team member. Like, I literally can't stand him. Like, it's not even like I have him left and I'm like, he's going to go strong. He's going to be in this game to the end. I am actively rooting for my
for him to
only
lose.
remaining team member to be evicted. And I like want it to be at Cerie's hands. Like, I want her to be like, I'm tired of you messing up my game, Jared. You're going on the block. We're sending you home. Like, that's what I like. I'm hoping will happen
Go
next.
home and go
Maybe
fix
I-
things
I-
with Kenzie.
I truly do believe she is the only person that would not put him up at this point.
Could you imagine? Imagine if she just blindsided all of us, won the
I would
HOH and the double
thrive.
eviction, and within a matter of 1 hour, her son would have gone from being HOH to nominated by his mom and sent out the door. Like, could you imagine?
That is the best case scenario. Are you kidding me? It'll
The
never
best case
happen, but I
scenario
would
is actually
thrive.
I want to see a Suri backdoor. Like, sorry, baby.
Oh,
Sorry.
back door of Jared.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought
Yeah.
you meant Suri gets backdoored.
No, a Suri backdoor of Jared. Like,
That's freaking funny.
sorry, babe. Sorry, babe.
And I would love for her to just tell everybody in the house at that moment, be like, "Yeah, this has been
That's
my
my
son
kid.
the whole time.
That's my kid.
I'm just as tired of him as you are. Get out of here, Jared."
I'm just as sorry as
My
you are.
God.
I don't know that would actually serve her though. I think that after that
Yeah.
she would still be.
Serve
target
me.
now.
It
Yeah,
would
I would-
serve me.
Yes, it would be great for TV, but I don't think it would serve her game. I think that
No.
then, like, listen, I definitely can't trust you after all that.
Right. You do that to your kid? Absolutely not.
Right. And I also like, what else have you lied about? I didn't
Right,
know all
right,
this
right,
time that I was
right.
playing with your child. My God.
I can't wait for Blue to find out like the actual truth.
But
Oh,
does she not? Well, it's so hard to tell if she knows or not.
I feel
I
like
don't
she
know.
doesn't know. I feel like she doesn't know. We have a new map from Big Brother Junkie. You can find them on Twitter at 89razorskate. We have this beautiful little map here right after. This is basically how things ended up after Cameron's Chaos Week, So what do we have here? So we can see right on the bottom, Cameron, no alliances.
I actually,
The shade of it
what's so
all.
funny?
In black.
Yeah, what's so funny about this? I was looking at all the groups, being like, "Wow, yeah, not surprising. Cameron's face not on here anywhere." And then I realized, no, his face is on here. It just says no alliances. I almost wish that it just said.
Funny.
I almost wish that it just said no friends instead of no alliances.
Oh, that'd
Dude,
be
that is-
more fun.
Oh,
Yes,
it's
it'd be
so funny.
good. So good. So we have the 6 up in the top left. Is this basically the 6 is like the repurposed 6 deadly sins? It's not 6, it's 7. 7 deadly sins.
Who's missing from that?
Huh.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Oh, Izzy.
Oh,
Izzy.
duh. Yeah. Okay.
Yikes. Terrible. And this to be named trio, they don't have a name yet. Jag, Matt, and Suri.
Mm.
That's just a Fields family and a cousin once removed, you know. What is this in the yellow? The Unreliables. I never heard that. And then the three-way reliable rats. I don't know who's in what.
Well, I have to assume that it's Corey and America are in both, and then Jag is one and Matt's the other.
Oh. So Jag is it's the Unreliables would be Jag, America, and Corey. And on our 3-way / reliable rats, we have a lot of names depending on who we're talking to. That's America.
Well, so I wonder.
Matt, and Corey.
I wonder if reliable rats is the 4 of them. I don't know. I haven't heard either of these names. So
okay. Maybe that's why they're all together. That
I would
nice.
guess
that,
but I'm
nice.
not
right. So 3-way would be the 3 of them: America,
Yeah.
Corey, and Matt, and then the reliable rats being all 4: Jag, America, Corey, Matt.
I imagine that's what that is,
Jag, America,
Yeah.
Corey. Woo, that was a lot. Oh my goodness. We shouldn't be doing this while we're cracked. What's up next? The For Real trio. I guess is the repurposed For Real, cut down with different members. Matt, Jag, and Blue. Psst, what is that? It's new to me.
And Matt and Jag have their Minutemen final 2.
Yeah, I have heard that. That's cute. I like that. Apparently, Suri and Bowie have each other's back. Pff, are we sure?
Yeah, that sounds fake.
Yeah,
I'm sure Bowie thinks so.
I don't know what that is. What is this? Toot Touty.
I mean,
Toot-tay?
if I'm guessing, that's Taute, like Faute, but I don't know.
Toot Touty.
Touty.
That's Matt, America, and Corey, and Jag. Dead ass want to work together. Okay, so they're not kidding. They're really in it to win it.
Dead ass.
Dead ass. And then the Brown Sugar Babes, I still never hear anything about that, but I see some other people tweeting about that. I see BSB and I think Backstreet Boys, and no, they mean Brown Sugar Babes. I don't know anything about that. That's brand new to me. So what are our thoughts? What alliance makes it to the end? I don't know.
Oh my god!
Literally,
I think this is going to be. I think this map is already going to be like way different next week. Like who knows? Like
I just had no questions left. I didn't know what to do. I was starting to panic. All right.
Yeah. Wild.
It is. It's very wild.
It's been entertaining. I don't understand people on like social media that say that they don't like this season. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, they're wrong. Sorry, they're wrong.
They are wrong. They are wrong. This has been some great Big Brother. I have to be honest.
This is the kind of season we beg for.
Yeah. I do wish that like Syrian crew were taking hits a little sooner. Because what we like about Suri is her way to maneuver out of a mess. Yeah, like I want to see Suri be Suri. Let's get her in some hot water. Because she'll survive.
I also find it so interesting. There is like a disconnect between modern Big Brother and old school Big Brother, where like I feel like we often see people wishing that we had players like Janelle or players like Dr. Will or players like Dan Giesling in the modern age of Big Brother. But then when you see somebody play that kind of game, they immediately get shredded. Like I saw people, there were people on Twitter that were going off about Corey in that fight and being like, Corey is so cocky. I've had enough of him. I don't understand why he talks this way, why he acts like he knows everything about everybody. And people are like, this is how Dan played in his season. Like you're not recognizing that like it's the same gameplay. Just people are just so much more. Yeah. It's just so interesting how like some people in the fan base don't realize that like we're getting what we're asking for, but you just think it's a bad thing now.
Right. I've been enjoying this.
I love this season.
I think the season's awesome.
And especially like once
24 wanted to be.
Mm-hmm. But also like what's so fun to me about this season, I feel like I usually have like my couple of people that I'm really riding for, and then there's a lot of people that are really unlikable. With the exception of Cameron and Jared, I do not care who wins this season. I would be happy with literally any outcome. I love this cast.
Yeah.
Yes. And even with them, I would still be less offended by their wins than I have been of some other Big Brother winners. So
absolutely.
like even with that, I would still be like, okay, well, certainly not the worst. Like, yeah.
Yeah. No,
It's
definitely.
been a great
I agree.
cast too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Well, I feel like that's it.
There's one other thing that's like not really totally relevant, but I thought it was funny. And when we talked about Zach earlier, it reminded me. So Zach earlier on Twitter absolutely killed me because there was a video going around of a couple of people in the backyard. It was America, Corey, and then I think it was Jag and Matt. And they were just talking about how like America knew who Zach was before this season, but didn't realize who Zach was to Corey. And that like, she's not a huge Survivor fan. She just knows Zach from Twitter. And they're talking about how like they figured out that she knows who Zach is. And she was like, oh my God, like he was the guy with Marianne. That's right. I remember him on Twitter. Like I know his picture. He's like the skinny white guy with like the curly hair. He's got like the blue and white like baseball t-shirt on. Like I follow him on Twitter. I've like, because he's so funny on Twitter. Like I've absolutely like followed him and seen him before. And Zach tweets this video and he just tweets, so incredible to see one of my followers make it onto this show and sleep with my brother. #baby25. Hinged, and I'm obsessed with it. His Twitter presence really is funny. Unreal.
I can't wait to just see them reunite after all this. Like, this is gonna be like so much fun. Yeah, to relive all these.
I think it would be great also to see them on Amazing Race. Two brothers, one from Survivor, one from Big Brother.
They made
I would love it. I would love it.
CBS already loves it. That's already in the plan. They're already cast. That's the thing. This is all part of it. This is all part of it. All these tweets, all these things that Gina's mentioning she loves so much. It's all part of it.
I love it.
I love it too. I'm here.
There was also a moment during the big fight as it was happening and people were tweeting videos in real time that Zach said something to the effect of like, all of those years of Corey screaming at me for beating him in Mario Party have led to this moment. Like he was practicing for this all along.
I'm going to start following him now.
He's like very funny.
On my own page. Yeah. I love that.
Well.
No. All right. Sounds like we're done.
That was all I had.
All right. So what do we have coming up next? We are going to be back on Thursday at 10:15. 10:15. Following the double eviction. 10:15 Eastern. Right after Buddy Games. Okay, come on, Buddy Games. No one gives a shit. I fucking love Buddy Games.
I liked the first episode. I tweeted. I said, okay. I would totally go on Buddy Games. This looks.
Oh my gosh, I would love to be on Buddy Games. Like, what if it was like the three of us and Mikey?
Oh, that would be
Like that would be like,
fantastic.
oh my gosh, it'd be the most ridiculous thing ever. Buddy
Chaos.
games, yeah, Buddy games is really really fun. You should check it out. But anyway, so 10:15 p.m. That's what we have going on then. And then next Monday, what do we have? We have the Challenge USA at 9:30, and then obviously we're back to our regular time, Big Brother 25 at 10:30 p.m. Okay. You can find us on the socials at Strat Chat Pod, including Blue Sky. Um, and that's it. That's all I got. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks a lot.